My name is Robert Christopher Wayne Weathers. I live at 3102 Central Hill Road, Hickory, Mississippi, 38841. I am under attack by people practicing Scientology. From what I have experienced, I can hear their voices. They're extremely hostile and demeaning me and my family. Now they are saying that they are the local police department, which have talked to me about extra dimensional. Yes, you have. He said, well, prove it then. Now I can tell it's them. They're getting mean. Okay, they are driving worms through my biology. Parasites, worms with teeth. They are torturing me extremely badly. Right now, they are mutilating my genitals. He's getting irate. So a woman just claimed to hurt me in some way. She said this is the local police. Guy claims he's sitting at the police department and he's harassing me constantly. He harasses me constantly. As I see Mark Zuckerberg, I see Bill Gates, I see Devin Singe, I see Barack Obama, I see people that belong to the local police department, the CIA, the FBI, the military. They are trying to pass a false narrative which says that I've done something wrong, which somehow justifies their violent behavior towards me. And they keep manufacturing or modifying evidence. They say they have to keep showing him the future to because he freaks out every time you say local police. He goes crazy. So there is a local policeman talking to me through technology very badly. When I'm going to getting your genitals. See the big red button over there. So you're trying to play your little game. I'm not playing a game. Y'all are. What am I doing? He says, cut, cut. He's doing this. Let me see him. So I have a right to self-defense now. I need to hire a lawyer, call the cop. I have contacted the FBI, the CIA, the military, everybody. He says they got ordained just for this practice. Now everybody's doing it through the sands of time. They are hurting people for monetary gain, coming up with every excuse they can. So I have been in this hive mind or had this technology for the last 13 years. I have observed these people murder children or commit acts of terrorism. They have drove people. They can create surrogates. They have harmed people in schools. They are responsible for school shootings. They are responsible for the corona outbreak. They can drive parasites and viruses through people. And they are responsible for hurting people. They are doing this to make money. The local policewoman said, "Okay, I'm going down the tube, Chris." See, someone is a terrorist in the hive. See, they just blew his goddamn head off. Said no, but they did shoot at him. He's got to stop this mess. This has turned into a little Christian martyrdom because I'm a genius, which is the reason why they put me in the hive in the first place, to allow people to witness my psychology. First contact was civilians, or it appeared to be civilians. Then it became apparent that people in the world were invading my privacy. Yes, they just mutilated my penis badly. It's in very great. One of the guys said, I don't know what happened, but they got some of us. Too many people have been killed. No, you're not. You keep doing this to me over and over again. They torture me badly. Torture and rape. So this is what I have experienced. There appears to be more space in the universe than humans can see. There are 11 dimensions. They reside within the particle itself. So inside of the particles we are made of lies 11 dimensions. You can consider our third dimension as a shell. So we have biology in these other dimensions. We utilize this biology to have an afterlife. From what I have observed, the human genome produces an 11-dimensional humanoid that flies through outer space. We have a head covering with horns on our head. They call them Anunnakis, or we are of the Anunnaki bloodline. We can actually fly through outer space. It's a ghost or a ghast. They're saying everyone's congratulating each other. He just said it's the local police department. Now we can come down. Says now they can come and get you. Now I'm getting victim shamed. Says no, these people did. They said it over and over and over again until people got hurt. Says they're trying to cover up this little Christian martyrdom. Yes, I know the local police department is involved because they have told me about their evidence. Me walking up and down the road screaming at these people, and they told me about it. Screaming at the upper dimensional organisms. Told you to keep your mouth shut. I'm getting severely injured over and over and over. Then I grow back or I heal up and they do it again. Says, I can't believe it. So the woman that says she's from the police department, she says, I'm going to show you this one time. The prickle or tingle all over. It was painful. She says, that's your hell. You're in hell. So I just got assaulted. So there's an entanglement property between our third dimension and our inner dimension or our 11 dimension. If you remove some of them, or if you remove an organ or tissue, no matter how far away it goes, you still inhabit this biology. You are still in it. It doesn't function the same way, but you definitely experience its nervous system. You don't experience the chemistry and the particle flow that comes with it. Yeah, that's all you get is a little bit of energy signature. So I'm being harassed. He said the deed is done. He says now we get to cut. She said this is the local police department. So that girl woman in Mississippi Public Broadcasting, or at least that's what I have heard, or she has, that same voice has been on Mississippi Public Broadcasting speaking my words. They had us hooked up to some kind of tether. I write intellectual property for fun. I wrote Crazy Bird Comics. I wrote the Environment Creation Agency. I wrote Divine Currency, Alien Bob, Bug Bob, and several others. And I talk to these people a lot. So I was talking about my intellectual property one day, and my words started coming out of her mouth. I heard it on the radio. Says, yeah, I told you about it as a friend. One of them said, friend my ass, he's cutting your dick off. So I'm in extreme pain. Says, they've been with you since birth. Says, bullshit. He says, you're not in trouble in any way. We're just doing our little part. Says, that's what they do to people. Oh, they are now. He's gonna kill his ass. I'm sick of this shit being brought to my doorstep. This guy's military or CIA agent. I knew him. I know him in real life. He was friendly. I'm sick of it. These goddamn idiot humans and the are running around running their mouth, torturing me. I had to leave his area because shit was going down. They were hurting me bad. One of them says, how's that genital mutilation taste? So this is what I have experienced. Humans have 11 dimensions. I'm hearing their voice. I don't hallucinate. I'm not delusional. This is very real. So there's two options. Either someone has somehow installed technology into my third dimension, which is either unlikely or they are lying, which either isn't true or they are lying at the hospital because I've had x-rays and scans done. Or Scientology is real. So humans have 11 dimensions which they utilize for an afterlife. We have 11 dimensional biology. We can't see it because it is in the particle itself. One of them says he gets my tools, my books, my staff, and everything else. He says, oh no, he's going to give her the staff. So they're talking about killing me and taking my things. He says he's from the local police department. Or that's the direction he's in. So I have spatial relations. I guess they used it for a phone service. Wherever things are in the world, I see it. I've always been this way. I guess they can see it too because they put them in my mind. I guess they're using some kind of phone service. He says, I want his poo 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 tools, poochie poo. They're getting away with torture, rape, and murder. This is why people are getting killed. This is why acts of terrorism is happening in America. They are terrorizing people, and they are above the law apparently. Because when the public sees this, or other people in the world of Scientology sees this, they go crazy. They want to stop it. They want justice, and these people won't come down. They won't stop doing it. So they put other people in harm's way. I've literally seen these people, uh, they traffic humans. I've literally seen them kill people because other people want justice. They want this to stop. They want to see these people brought to justice or brought down. Yes, there are thousands and thousands of people in this hive mind. Every one of them's going nuts. They're going crazy. Or they were when it started. So this is what I have experienced. Humans have 11 dimensional biology. We utilize this biology to have an afterlife. When we die, we live on in this extra dimensions. We actually leave our body in an 11 in other dimensional biology. So Scientology is the practice of utilizing this extra dimensional biology before we die. They remove it from themselves and they use technology and techniques to turn it into an upper dimensional vehicle. So every 3 dimensions, they like to cut themselves. They wind up with 3 dimensions in outer space. And they use organs and tissues from other humans and other species to try to make themselves whole again because they can't survive like this. The practice of Scientology, they don't allow you to use the whole thing. Then you become as powerful as the police and the Navy and the high payers, the people that pay a lot of money, like Mark Zuckerberg, Bill Gates, Devin Singe, all the high players. They get to use their full biology. Normal Scientologists don't. They have to pay a lot of money for it. And then even usually then they don't. These people are committing crimes against humanity. They don't want anybody to come up there and stop them. They don't want to lose power or authority. So this technology that they use allows them to do several things. First, it allows them to create and access their upper dimensions and drive their upper dimensions. Second, it allows them to create surrogates. So they have the ability to drive other organisms as well, besides their own. They can drive humans, animals, insects, and worms in any dimension. They can even drive microbial life. They can drive viruses, make viruses do their thing. They can drive microbes around. So if you're the woman from the police that claims to be from the police department, she can come kill you now. That we can come kill you now. They don't have to call 911. She just would do it. And I'm going to file a police report when they get here. That's what they're claiming. A woman that says she's from the local police department is threatening my life. Okay. Third, this technology allows them to create a hive mind. So first they use the entanglement property between our third and our extra dimensions. When they remove brain tissue or organ tissue or tissues, no matter how far they take it from us, we are still in that, especially brain and central nervous system. So they like to remove it from themselves and they put it in a little pod or box. They install it into a computer system, either a big object that houses these things. They got pods all over it, or they stick it into a wall and this links them into a computer system. They say, yeah, sometimes they do the whole biology. Then they like to interface technology with the remaining tissue that's on Earth, that's on in our third dimension. So they interface technology with their brain and central nervous system, even their sexual organs. And then they interface this technology wireless. They interface this technology computer system, and that also allows them to assimilate themselves into a hive mind. It also acts as a communication device, an internal communication device, which is really external. If you see these people, they have to cut their heads off, brains. And then lastly, this technology artificially stimulates brain and central nervous system so they can isolate individual neurons and thought patterns and link these neurons and thought patterns or stimulate these neurons and thought patterns. I'm being assaulted. I'm in pain. They're hurting my skin. So this woman that claims to be from the police department, she says she's making me feel my hell. My skin's burning. This is torture. After they mutilated my genitals. She said, and there's your acid. I'm sick. Says just your skin. So one says it's Barack Obama. Says I need to get you out of there, but I gotta go through her to get it. I'm in. So lastly, this technology artificially stimulates neurons. It elevates neurochemistry. So they run energy through their neurons. And it elevates neurochemical levels. It forces their neurons to produce neurochemical. So it elevates neurochemicals like dopamine, norepinephrine, serotonin. And this has an extremely narcotic effect upon the user. She says, see, you get to experience that when you're in hell. My skin feels all clammy. It's burning a little bit. She says, I'm fixing to turn it up. They said, get him to smoke a cigarette. I have a right to smoke a cigarette. What are you going to do if I do? She says, I'm going to cut you. Yes, that's a woman that claims to be from the local police department. And then there's a guy at the local police department saying she ain't real, which I've seen people from the local police department on my iPhone. They are some of the assailants. I don't have the evidence to come to that conclusion. All I know is the local police department does have access to my tech. They're trying to claim it's a surveillance technology, but I've had every kind of technology in the book. It's hot. It's Scientology's tech. Oh yes, we talk to each other. They harass me constantly. They steal my intellectual property. They let other people read my mind for a fee. She's saying, "Oh, you already did it." She's trying to explain to me. First it was this, first it was that. She's like, "Oh well, you already did it." She said, "We're gonna kill you." Yes, these are people on Earth. That girl's from Mississippi Public Broadcasting, NPR. Yes, they let civilians do this, and I know there are real civilians because when they assimilated me 13 years ago, the world became a. But I could tell that the world was invading my privacy. Real people in the world were communicating with me through their platforms. Uh, TV show host, night show host, actors, radio DJs, Mississippi Public Broadcasting, NPR, media, even politicians, the FBI, the CIA, and the military. They all behaved and communicated with me in a way that I could tell they were invading my privacy. I'm being assaulted. Someone is threatening suicide because they won't stop torturing me. She's saying that it's torture and it's rampant. She's saying it's okay, baby. Show you what torture does to a people, especially in a hive mind. You can't do it. They'll go crazy and start murdering each other. So the world of Scientology is a criminal enterprise. They have become extremely criminal. The people that practice Scientology or gain the most power in the upper dimensions are very powerful people in the world. People like Mark Zuckerberg, Bill Gates, Devin Singe, the military, especially the Navy, politicians, big business owners, tech companies, the FBI, the CIA, the military. These are the people with the most power. So they are trying to take over the population and every institution in it. They are trying to control all the world's institutions. They force assimilation upon people who have influence, authority, or power, or they are attracted to in some way. Yes, I'm being a witch. I'm in pain at the moment. Both my genitals and my skin are hurt in pain. So these people like to do things like force assimilation. They force people to practice Scientology, or they practice Scientology on people. They like to kidnap people. They like to traffic humans. They like to invade our privacy. They like to invade our homes and businesses. Someone just said they're going to cut some of these nerves so I don't feel it. Get away from me. You're breaking the law. So he's on what's called a pawns. They take the brain stems out of people. They're extra dimensional brain stems. Put them into a computer system. And then they run energy through it. And then they use digital technology to create an energy signature, or they use the back side, the dark side of it, the Anunnaki side or something. They create little humanoids that can access people's homes through the energy source. They can literally come right through the light bulbs or through the energy in the wall, walk right up to us and actually hurt us. His heaven is wild. They have very high technology up there. So these people, they like to rape and torture their victims. Scientologists, they like to murder people. They have fun doing it. They like to sabotage people's lives. They like to make people sick, especially people that are a challenge or that are competition to them or their businesses or for some kind of monetary gain. And I've witnessed uh, the Department of Justice doing this too. They hurt people in an attempt to get them to mess up so they can then have power over this person. They can arrest them, or they're just outright killing people, feeding them worms and torturing them and killing them. They like to use biological weapons. They call it war tech, parasites, or viruses in all dimensions, most of which are genetically engineered. and they do this to individuals or a population, large population. They just show up and start killing people. So they transmit parasites and viruses in a few different ways. Either they use drones, they drop them from drones, or they use cats and dogs, or they can use house flies, or they break into your house, poison your food and water supply. So they can literally fly a house fly right into your drink or land on the edge of it and drop a load of parasites, or they land on your skin and drop parasites. You either drink them or they just drive them into you. They say will kill you when you go to sleep. What I'm saying, we're going to get them now because we know they've been with us. Because space transcends time. I can't say you've done no more wrong. So they're probably going to utilize this technology, hive mind tech, which records everyone's sensory perception. They like to modify or manipulate or set up scenarios, this information that they record in order to try to pass off a false narrative in which somehow says I've done something wrong or something has happened, justifies their criminal behavior towards me. They're like, nope, it's just Scientology. They do this to people they can't afford, can't deal with. I'm almost dead. They're telling me, shut up, we'll keep you here. Nothing's gonna happen. He said, then surrogate then. Yes, my genitals remain, my penis. No, it's not so they can drive a worm out. They can control these worms very intimately. They can do whatever they want to with them. Move them around, move their heads around, drive them, open their mouths, close their mouths, make them eat. So they've been uh, sticking this worm into a very sensitive spot that has a lot of nerves on it. And they'll open its mouth and they'll scratch down the nerves. Part of their torture regimen. They do this constantly. So the Department of Justice says we'll get you out of hell. Because we are among the biggest. So from what I have experienced, somebody stole brain pieces 13 to 15 years ago, which coincides with the time that I got started Facebook and the time that they made us sign all of these uh, all these agreements. Yes, I'm very sick. Saying they could do something or whatever. So shortly after that, I started hearing voices. But I was a political activist on Facebook. I was participated in politics a lot. I had a large following. We persuaded elections, lawmaking, discussed policy, environmental issues, and nominees, uh, elected officials. We actually got some things done. fighting the good fight, trying to help the public, the working class, and everybody else too. And then I was a literary genius, so I wrote a lot about a lot of things. I inspired a lot of people. So then I started hearing voices, or the uh, people on social media started communicating with me, and it was apparent that they were invading my privacy. They started telling me what to do, how to do my job, when I could take bathroom breaks. It was Fast Company. I didn't like it very much. I told them to stop doing that, get away from me. And then it wasn't long after that, or it was before that, or it's probably after that. I started hearing voices. So I started hearing voices from my radios, my television, phone service. They were speaking directly to me. It's like someone was sitting there in my radio having a conversation with me. And they were mean and demeaning, hostile. They kept harassing me constantly and threatening me as you enter the world of Scientology. And then the harassment stopped that day. I stopped hearing voices. But it became apparent that the world was invading my privacy. Like I said, media companies, radio DJs, marketing companies, MPB, NPR. These are the stations that I listen to most. Uh, Media that I listen to most. Social media, especially the internet ads. They were very hostile, always death threats and very hostile and mean things. And then I could tell that some of the people that I was shown, some of the people in my algorithm were communicating with me, both subliminally, and directly. I'll I'll do it was something would happen like I'll be eating a cheeseburger, and then a radio DJ would come on and start talking about cheeseburgers. Oh, the cheeseburger was founded in Hamburger Germany, or whatever. They would give us like a history of the food that I was eating at that very moment, and this happened over and over and over and over again. And every once in a while, someone would come on and say something smart or hostile, and then go back to normal broadcasting. So it became apparent they were sabotaging me, trying to get me to freak out, mess up, do something wrong. And then the people around me started acting strange. So my family members, my coworkers, my friends, my neighbors, they all started acting strange. And bad things started to happen. Like someone asked me for a ride. So I give them a ride. We go down the road and a cow runs out in front of me, and bam, we hit the cow, totaling my brand new vehicle, sending me to the hospital. So I got out and got better. And then Barack Obama orders the construction of a new highway through my backyard. Well, it wasn't the construction of a new highway. They were turning an old highway into an interstate. So later on, after construction already was well on the way, somebody somebody again asked me for a ride. So we're going down the road, and it's pouring down rain. I can't even see anything, and I missed my turn off. But that was okay because there's a turnaround spot right up the road. I use it all the time. I've done it hundreds of times. So I pull up to turn around in this turnaround spot, and there are wires and poles right close to the ground where I can't see them. And I run over them with my car, destroying the front end of my car. I'll tell you how it happened. So whenever I started hearing voices, right after these people were harassing me, this is before my cars, uh, I started complaining on Facebook about what I was hearing. People harassing me on the radio and stuff. And Barack Obama made a statement, yeah, we should control what people say on the radio. And then he went silent, never talked to me again. He spoke to me several times before that. It's okay, I'll come back. Oh, says he's gonna call me a criminal. That's that. Wrap it up. Says, but we know it's not. People became very attracted to your psychology early on, but you had a stress disorder. We couldn't handle it, so we had to cut you. Why did you not just leave me alone? Since you were already hearing voices, no, you could have pulled the technology out. Yes, you could have and left me alone for the rest of my life, and I wouldn't have knew anything about it until I died and was gone. And we're making too much money, so people started buying into this eye nerve thing. Well, it became apparent very on. Were stealing my intellectual property, the things that I was working on and writing about. The same way they were harassing me on the radio. People were also stealing my intellectual property. So I started reading magazine articles and seeing new books come out based on the things that I was studying and working on at the time. I also write literature and study things. See, as time went on, people talked about me more and more, stole intellectual property. They made articles, magazine articles, internet articles, and they stole more and more intellectual property. So these are all the people Barack Obama ordained, people that were communicating with me most. So I'm glad it was MPB and NPR because those are not criminal attitudes, which they claim you are. Yes, I listen mostly to MPB, NPR. I read Today, Mississippi a lot, where most of this communication was coming from. Magazine articles every once in a while. Even Popular Mechanics and American Scientific. I had subscriptions to those magazines. Communication was coming from there. Even the actors, entertainment professionals, and like I said, social media. It was everybody. So it was everybody. But these were the people that were harassing me. Says no, she's not. She's the feds or the local police. She claims to be an old woman, but she's not. She said, "Ooh, I just went to hell." So then I started writing, actual writing, which was my plan for a long time. I wrote the entire time. I have notes, write notes, think about things in my mind, and I started writing my comic books and my intellectual property, the things that I decided to work on. This is This is after I became sick. Shortly after assimilation, uh, started having accidents. People started getting me into accidents, and I became very sick. I could feel things stuck inside of me, foreign objects deep inside of my ear, my face, and my neck. So I started going to the hospital and getting scans done. Torture object. I started writing later on down the road. I started writing my comic books. I wrote Crazy Bird. I wrote Crazy Bird comics. I wrote the Environment Creation Agency. I wrote Divine Currency. I wrote Alien Ball, Bug Bob, and several others. People started stealing that intellectual property as well. I started hearing more and more voices then. People started communicating with me to a large extent. And then people started breaking into my homes. One of these people told me that I was poisoned with parasites. Someone told me that y'all gave me worms. The hive mind is big. We're talking about everybody. Every institution in the United States practices Scientology. So then I packed up my things and moved back home. And then I started hearing voices and seeing things. Like actually hearing voices and seeing things inside of my head. Well, first off, it's a communication device. It's a phone service. So we interact with each other in a digital landscape. So these people would literally show up right in front of my face, talking to me like a phone call, FaceTime phone call. And they were harassing me badly. I've done something wrong. I'm trying to come up with a false narrative saying I've done something wrong. Did I want to be attacked for it? Well, some of them were nice. Some of them were mean. And then they gave me other devices that actually allowed me to see them in my environment. So first off, I seen a bunch of insectoids and worms running around and humanoids. I've seen some Anunnakis, aliens. And then on my internal device, I've seen uh, humas, preservision. So preservision is more of like a doctor's, more of like a hospital. They say it's on the ground. And then humas is more of a like a giant castle in outer space where the big ones reside. Upper dimensions. I have hundreds and hundreds of videos, probably thousands of hours of videos, and thousands of screenshots, police reports, FBI, or crime reports, uh, CIA, the military, the FBI, the CDC, internal affairs, the local police, all multiple times. Is to try to get this to stop over the past several years. Someone said, it's us, so please stop this mess. I'm not doing anything. They say, oh, we're saying you. Well, they are manufacturing evidence. I literally do nothing. Sit here in a chair, drink coffee, and smoke cigarettes. And then I eat, and I come in here, lay down, take naps. And that's all I do. And then I browse Facebook sometimes. They harass me there. They harass me through the television. And then they harass me through these digital devices. So after they stole some of my intellectual property and made plans to steal the rest of it, they started stealing my biology. So they started stealing upper dimensional brain tissue to try to utilize it for a transplant. So they took upper dimensional brains and tried to stick it in their own heads, try to somehow gain my intelligence. They wanted to utilize my ability to write literature, my intelligence, my ability to create, and my visual processes, my vision, my imagination. They wanted to use these things for themselves. They want to drive. They are addicted to making surrogates. They like to drive other organisms, especially humans. They wanted to experience my psychology for themselves. So they started out phone services to try to get close and witness my psychology. Then they tried to use my upper dimensional biology, especially brain tissue, transplants and surrogate purposes. And now it's turned into a snuff film. So these people are literally torturing me and raping me to death. So yes, that's Scientology. They're flying houseflies on me right now. I feel where they touched. It was like they put a hole in me. They were trying to get some of these worms out. One of them just said, "That's okay. You'll be dead soon. Please get away from me. You're breaking the law." These people, this technology had nothing to do with me writing intellectual property. I've been writing since I was a kid. It was a requirement for kids in grade school to read books and write short stories as a requirement in class to get graded on. I was good at it and I fell in love with it. I got A's on all of my work. My teacher said that I had a very natural ability to do this, to write, and I've been doing it my entire life. I'm naturally intelligent and philosophical, a literary genius. Say I'm going to get sick and go to the hospital unconscious, and then I'm going to be laying on a hospital bed, and they're going to say that I broke the law again, which they claim is going to be a bad thought or something, in which they probably control. They're going to do something on my phone service to say, "Ooh, that's a bad thought," and then they're going to send me to hell on a hospital bed. That's what they just claimed. She just said, "Mm-hmm," and she's drinking. That's supposed to be hostile towards these people. They don't like to see other people drink or eat or put anything in their mouth. To them, it's a violent. It's a form of insult. No, it's because y'all have irritability syndrome, elevated dopamine levels. Social media or other people, the television has conditioned you to believe that these things are a type of insult. Like the little frog drinking tea, that's none of my business. To them, it's an insult. I don't even think about it. To me, it's normal behavior. I constantly drink and eat and smoke. One of them said, "That's not going to happen, bitch." One said, "We got to go get him. It's not going to be that bad. He's going to fall from this far." As far as you know, as far as what you're going to see, bad. It's really bad. Badly. So does my animals. There is an entanglement property between our third dimension and our inverse. So if they remove biology from us while we are still among the living, we have to experience that biology no matter how far away it goes from us. We are our inverse. At least part of us is. And when we die, no matter where it's at, we are going to wake up in this body part, or we are going to experience it when we are dead, even if it's in a million pieces thrown out across the galaxy. They have it artificially stimulated. We are going to experience it, planning on doing. So they have my biology in a million pieces. Some of it they're using for transplant purposes, especially my brain tissue. They're going to try to use it to write comic books and short story literature after I'm dead. He says, "Oh, they're doing it right now. They're using it right now as a transplant. Some of my upper dimensional brain tissue, which I no longer have, I am handicapped because of it. I still function okay. Some of it they're using for surrogate purposes. So some of it they're creating a little organism that can drive around outer space." She says, "And they're calling it me." And some of it they're actually using for torture devices. Some of it they're going to use to send me to hell. She says, which is comical because you're going to be suffering and I'm going to be using your brain piece to do what you're supposed to do. Is these people kidnap me in an attempt to control my influence and to get close to my psychology because I help people make money and write literature before assimilation. They witnessed this. So people that were addicted to practicing Scientology on people forced me to assimilate. They wanted to read my thoughts. They put in mind reading technology. Yes, and they got to witness me, my drug use, some of petty drug use every once in a while. And they're calling that criminal behavior. And then they realize that's not enough to murder somebody, to do this to somebody. Now they're saying they're going to set me up and then call it it's because of criminal behavior. But that's still not enough to murder somebody, meditate murder, and torture people. Well, they're going to try to make some big case. Nobody cares. It's Scientology. It happens all the time. So I've contacted every government agency there is that pertains to the law and asked for help. I seek asylum with everybody. I asked them to come get me, to come help me fix this problem. None of them showed up. I even made reports to the local police department. Nobody showed up. He said, they don't know about your criminal activity. Well, so you're a civilian doing this? She said, uh-huh. Then you are not allowed to do this. And if there is criminal activity, you are an accomplice to it. I've even done this on social media. I've made videos contacting these people. Now she's running. So she is. She says, I'm local police. I'm getting victim shamed again. Yes, any excuse they can to stay in my presence and to record my thoughts, they're going to do it. So part of it, they're stealing my intellectual property, putting on a show for everybody, and making a snuff film. And then part of it, they're trying to use my thoughts to manufacture evidence to try to somehow justify their criminal behavior towards me. Scientology has taken many, many victims, countless victims. And they like to take surrogates from the population. They don't want to drive some people. Some people they pick at random if they need a body to commit a crime or do whatever. And some people they actually take for attractive reasons. Some of these people even they take girls as surrogates for sexual purposes. Scientology, which usually turns into rape and torture. They kidnap people, make surrogates, and traffic humans. When I'm saying, yeah, yeah, we got him, got him. Saying, yeah. Now we know that Scientology does this well documented. Yes, I've read about it and I've also seen about it. It says not that they take surrogates. Oh, you're doing something wrong whenever somebody's drooling all over themselves, humping the floor while Scientologists are standing over them. Yes, after they practice Scientology and dying. We talk about it all the time down here. Every once in a while, a report gets made. Someone in Scientology is missing or dead or acting strange all the time, constantly in this country. These people have never seen it. They've never seen what goes on down here. One of them just says, I need to hire a criminal. He says, post death to get you out of hell. He says, because that's what we do. We send people to hell for a living. Y'all send innocent people to hell. I've been watching this whole thing go down for years. So they are literally sending people to hell. And every once in a while, someone gets freaked out and wants justice, wants these people to go down. They'll go get one of their trafficked humans and murder them or torture them and send them to hell. Innocent people. And they are killing innocent people in our society with parasites and viruses. And I have reason to believe they are responsible for a lot of the school shootings that has happened. And those make no sense. But I've witnessed these people do things like that. Hive mind mechanics are strange. You start torturing, raping, murdering, killing people in front of each other, they go crazy. They go out and commit acts of terrorism, or they start doing it themselves. I don't know you can drive. These people are not very smart. First off, they have brain damage. Then they are very criminal. They're conditioned to do body parts. And on top of that, they are high. They're getting a narcotic like effect from their technology. And some of them are abusing substances. So they are delusional. They aren't very smart. They're trying to use bad logic to come up with some false narrative in which says I've done something wrong to somehow justifies their criminal behavior towards me. Says they're going to have to get off the hook with torture, rape, murder, and intellectual property theft of you and my family, of me and my family. So this guy saying this guy's a local policeman. He says, oh, he's glad I'm going down for this. So these people have this idea that they're going to martyr me as a Christian martyrdom, and they're going to blame all of their crimes on me and absolve themselves from their sins after after sabotaging my life, torturing me, forcing me or experimenting on me, stealing biology, doing this to my family and a bunch of other people. See, he's twacked out of his head. That's what one guy just said. You can't deal with this up here. He's got to go down. He just spit on me. He said that's a pawns at the local police department. Yes, they're showing me local police doing this. They show me police officers doing this to me. They show me the military doing this to me. It says they're bugs. Well, there are insectoids, which are humans wearing bug body parts. And then there are uh, the bug surrogates, which are bug biologies that either have been grown or harvested for a surrogate. So either someone's driving a bug, an insect, or they're using bug body parts. There's no such thing as a, a insect species driving themselves. They are not sentient in any dimension. Well, they're not. Neither are the worms, in which they claim are. They are not. I want to say, Chris, you're gone. Just okay, dude. I'm coming down. So the most important aspect about this whole thing is the way they perceive time. So our third dimension see time as a linear event. We see the days passing one after another after another. One guy said, "Just thank God you're gone out of my hands." So just flush you down the toilet. They put my biology in acid and locked it out of entropy in the upper dimension. Apparently, because I've done something wrong. When in actuality, they have an irritability syndrome. So they committed crimes against me and they won't stop because some of them were wanted to experiment on me, wanted my biology, wanted to harm me. I got mad about it. Now they're irritable about it. They're irritated. They don't know that high dopamine levels make you irritable, which they do and which they are. He's acting like he's on an opioid, which one guy told me a lot of these people are on fentanyl. He says, "Yep, they are." He just stopped dead in his tracks and started smiling. Now he's all happy. He just said fentanyl on national television. They are bad delusional. Says he's a half brain. So these are alien surrogates. Uh, aliens are surrogates. Aliens are remote controlled humans. So the human genome produces an Anunnaki. That's what we are supposed to be. We are supposed to die and fly into outer space and never return. So Scientology takes this Anunnaki and chops it to pieces. And they use biology from other organisms, humans and other species, to try to make themselves whole again. So they use lizard body parts, insect body parts, worm body parts, and then there's the alien form. So they make lizard people, insect people, worm people, and then there's the alien form. So some of these people are big, yes. The longer they are up there, the bigger they get. When you remove your biology from yourself, put it into outer space, you start to expand at a greater rate than we do on Earth. You no longer are anchored into space time. You are removed from space time, or at least from our third dimensional counterpart. They get huge. The longer they're up there, the bigger they get. And the more dimensions they have, the bigger they get. So y'all people think they are extraterrestrial? I have yet to encounter extraterrestrial DNA or other species. He says there are other species, but no ET. The smartest and biggest people I have encountered are Anunnakis or aliens, humans. When I say Anunnaki, I mean human. That guy just went and says, "I am on fentanyl. Does that give me some kind of irritability syndrome?" Big assaulted. There's a worm out there. I said, you're going to die, I promise. No problems. See ya. This is not called doxing. This is verbal harassment. It's not on first phone service. Yes. On a phone service, it's actually verbal assault. You are literally artificially stimulating neural tissue with the device, and it is having a harmful effect. Sometimes it does cause pain, both physically and psychologically. So it is verbal assault. So this guy comes up here and said, and I can see him, and he said, "You're gonna die, I promise. I just want to prove to you that I am another cop." I don't understand that part. And then he comes back to the television screen and he says, "No problems." So they're communicating with me through my father's television. Nothing wrong. I said it's because you're smoking. No, it's not. Even I've quit smoking in the past. Problem. The reason they were assaulting me, and they continued to assault me. Not only that, it became mortal wounds. And then I've been in the hospital where I couldn't smoke, and they continued to assault and torture me. So in the past few years, or the past 13 years, they like to insert foreign objects and drive worms into places that cause me great pain and discomfort, and just leave them there. So I've got to constantly deal with pain. That's what they're asking the local police for. You're actually creating criminals, drug use offenders that you can later, uh, one of them just shaking his head, yeah. So now they're trying to get off the hook. So I know a lot more people than the local police are involved in this. It's the whole United States population, and then some people around the world, especially Australia. A woman in Australia is very infatuated with my literature. She says, "Well, don't tell nobody." Then we got people in China, Russia, and all over the place. They're like, "Ooh, this is a crazy person." They're saying they are on the phone, or they were on the phone. So now they're trying to use this phone service to manufacture technology. They say she is in some way driving some of my brain. They have removed brain tissue, and they are trying to utilize it as transplants or use it for their own purposes. So some of it, I guess, is transplants. Some of it they're manufacturing evidence with. So there's something about the inverse where they can do something that takes me off of it. They say, so you don't have to worry about that brain piece. I don't know. They can put me back on it. I think the inverse, or it has something to do with how close it is to you. What happens is if they remove a piece of brain tissue or any kind of biology and remove it from yourself, you are still in it for a reason. You can't take energy out of a particle, and which is what this is. Our in our uh, inverse biology or our inner dimensions, they are actually part of the same particles in which we consist of. They are part of our third dimensional particles. They are actually the inside of our particles. You can't take energy out of a particle. The universe won't allow it. Your particles would collapse. They would just be destroyed. So space time has to try to uh, keep this from happening. It has to try to make up for the removal of energy. So if they remove energy from the particle, space time actually gets shrinks in between the distance. So from our perspective, it never leaves us. But on the inverse side, it's like you just pull part of this guy's body parts halfway across the world, halfway across the state. And that's what it looks like. So from the in between, you actually get bands. It looks like bands of space time. And then what happens is the energy and the particles that are flowing through your biology, once they get to this tissue that's been removed, brain or your organs or whatever, particles actually shoot up this band of space time. Then they go to they finally reach your biology. There's a delayed response. Then they go through your biology, then back to back to you, then continue flowing through your body. So yeah, you can't take energy out of the particle; it would be destroyed. Space time has to distort in an attempt to keep this energy inside of the particle. It can't happen. It does because space time exists. Yes, energy can be removed. That is partly of how our Nunnakai works. So I know that when we die, we do something called they call raising, turning around. We grab all this energy that we can and we pull it into ourselves as far as we can. We actually go deep into ourselves. It's called going into the nether. It's like to the other side of the universe or deep inside into the singularity. And then we go into our ghast or our ghost when we become a Nunnakai. And I'm sick. You say, yay, so you're going to go there. No, I will only experience life after death under these conditions as if they artificially stimulate me when I die. So if they artificially stimulate me, there is a chance that I will experience that biology. I do not consent to being artificially stimulated when I die. They say, well, this is going to be hard to prove. They're saying, well, we're going to know that's true because they want to send you to hell. So, which is what we're doing for all this hardship and suffering. But what it is y'all have irritability syndrome. Y'all like to torture, rape, and murder people and send them to hell. That is what Scientologists do. A lot of them do this. So we found our band of Jews. So say I have irritabilities. It does. What are you going to do that you're not already doing? She says, oh, do it. So you're already all in hell. You've already got all they want to from you. So I guess they're going to come down here and drop worms now. Then I'll have to defend myself against a ghost, an upper dimensional organism. Now, someone said they're going after people. They've committed too many acts of terrorism. It's these people have irritability syndrome, and they are trying to get you in trouble. So they're trying to make you do something wrong, and which is something they can use in court after this happens, I guess, to somehow justify their criminal activity towards me. So they can call it vigilante justice, I guess, which is also a crime. But who cares? You wrote the ECA, right? So they get to present it to the public as their own intellectual property and say, look, it was worth it. We got to read his mind and we got the ECA. I would have presented this to the public when the time was right and after I finished it. You can't present radical ideas like this to a population of this type without first initiation process. So you have to communicate with people and get them used to an idea like this becoming available to the public before you force it upon them. See, that's what I just learned. Now they're going to denounce all of this. No way. You just torture somebody to death for intellectual property that saves the planet. It actually does, but we're not going to accept it because this is bullshit. Lived. Crackheads. Because you know they're not driving worms right now. He said they are through sissy. So they're driving worms to my animals. I don't consent to you driving parasites at all. If you let them go, no, they will not drive. We can do things to an organism like pulling its inverse, pulling its extra dimensions, and this organism will die, no matter what it is, where it is. You say, well, we're about to cut her open. No, we're not. We have the technology to remove parasites. You can literally walk right up to any human being or any organism and rip their heart and lung tissues out. They will die in the upper dimension. You can't survive without upper dimensional heart and lung tissue. You have to be on life support or pull their brains, and they might go crazy for a while. One said, I shit you not, you can live without inverse, but not upper dimensional tissue. Yes, I have experienced this. They have literally removed body parts, and I started to pass out dying. I could feel myself die. Then an alien would show up, or a worm god, one of the worm people, and put some life support on me, and I'd be right back up going again. This happened over and over, multiple times. It's a worm god. They use worm biologies. Now, some of them actually use the worm body as a suit of armor. It's about trying to prepare yourself for outer space. You need a myelin sheath and a head covering. You need to be in an Anunnaki. Go into outer space. It's dangerous out there. There are extreme environments. But if you lose this, you lose your skin and your myelin sheath and your head covering. You need something to cover yourself up. That's why they use lizard skins, insect body parts, and worm body parts. And so then there's the blue bloods. One of the blue bloods said, we don't go out. We stay right down here close to Earth where it's hot. And one of them says, actually, we do, but it's not that. This is a myelin sheath. Says, oh, this is bullshit the worm guy's got. This is actually him, the leader of the CDC, one of the military members. And one of them saying, oh, we got you. It says, fixing to be out just like that. So I'm being threatened. Is something's going to shoot down in my brain and mess it all up? So they're going to attempt to kill me, is what I just heard. It says before I can even. It says if you do that right now, you might get it. So now I gotta run, which is what they force me to do all the time. I gotta grab my animals and run. Bail, take off bailing, just like I've done many times in the past. So that's not gonna happen. I have a right to smoke. I do not consent to being in a hive mind, and it does not cause anyone any harm. You are harming yourself, claiming that smoking harms you because you are having irritability syndrome. First off, dying people yell. When people are dying, they yell. Second of all, my father is a surrogate. He has been screaming at me my whole life. I have a severe stress disorder. Yes, y'all made my father a surrogate, just like you did the rest of a lot of my other family members, my neighbors, my coworkers, my friends, and everybody else affiliated with me in any way. You also made them surrogates. He said, in which I'm going to go down for. It's logical. He said, well, it's true. So they have an irritability syndrome. They assault people, rape, torture, mutilation, murder. It's in all dimensions. They're trying to justify their criminal behavior, which stems from a lot of these people stealing my intellectual property, stealing my body parts, committing crimes against me. Now they're mad about it. They're irritable because of it. Some people, when they hurt another person, they get mad about it because it causes a conflict or a situation and it makes this person mad. The person that they hurt. This is what committing crimes does to people. So you can tell he's one of the painful users. They say you're really going to be punished for your crime, which I haven't committed any. Petty drug use. That is all I've ever been guilty of. The rest is manipulated or modified or manufactured. So you're going to have a hard time proving that in court. Well, I left behind everything. And I also filed police reports, contacted every government agency there is this that deals with criminal activity to seek help and asylum or some kind of explanation. I said, Chris, you're really going to fall. He says, I shit you not. They're getting police surveillance on all of the nerds and smart people in the world, especially the Writers Guild, the actors, anybody and everybody with intelligence. Just in case this happens again, they can steal intellectual property or steal works or theories or whatever, and set these people up and hurt them and take their stuff too. That's what this girl from MPB is doing. One guy said this falls within our jurisdiction. I don't understand. He said, we're going to take your shit. What's already public has been for years. Yes, I've posted my intellectual property online on social media. They say Mark Zuckerberg can help with that. Except a whole lot of people have seen it. They say, who's going to testify in court? They're going to go down before it even happens. I shit you not. They destroyed large amounts of the population and our environment over this event. A lot of people have lost lives and afterlives. A lot of people are suffering greatly just so y'all can steal something from another person. It was already the public's, it was already going to be the public's anyways. It's already going to belong to the people. So what you created, it's the Holy Grail, man. It is a Holy Grail, if you want to call it that. Fixing money in any way is a Holy Grail. Trickle up economy, that's a Holy Grail. It will solve a lot of problems. Universal basic income, that's another Holy Grail. But that would solve a whole lot of problems too. Just giving people health care, some kind of health insurance for the people. That's another Holy Grail. That would save a lot of lives. Giving people food stamps. That's another Holy Grail. It would help a lot of people out. So this solves all world problems. Well, so does universal basic income if you give people enough of it. Well, go tell the EPA that I'm sorry. We screwed up. We need to enforce some laws and start fixing the environment. So he goes, there's the Holy Grail. It is a Holy Grail. In the future, the Grail is probably going to be uh, in some kind of interstellar spaceship or something like that, or some kind of asteroid uh, destroying device, asteroid destroying weapon or something. That's going to be a Holy Grail too. Holy Grails are relative to the place and time and to the system they are employed. Yes, tell someone to pass socialism. Socialism, that's another Holy Grail. How about we uh, find a whole bunch of good politicians to become elected? Those are Holy Grails right there. They can fix a whole bunch of problems. Tell me what to do. Yes, no, away from me and my family. Yes, the ECA and the Buffalo Dollar. It is a holy grail. It is a chance to fix all problems in the universe if uh, utilized correctly. It is total environmental control, which is a holy grail that would solve every problem in the universe if utilized properly. It is just a holy grail. There are a bunch of holy grails. Well, it's my understanding that Holy Grail that the Holy Grail would be the most valuable thing in the world. That's the Holy Grail, which is what one of these is. It is that would be a the ability to solve all world problems. That would be the Holy Grail. I would expect that it would fix it. I guess if you're looking for a true Holy Grail, we can imagine one, which I guess would allow everyone to live forever, free of all diseases, and to become extremely intelligent, be all knowing. Uh, if you drank from its cup or whatever, because that would be the real Holy Grail, the true Holy Grail. You have to account for time and reality. If you want something in reality, don't talk about longevity because we're not going to get it. Longevity is going to increase anyways. At the rate we're going, we are increasing lifespan. Humans might make it to 150 in the next 100 years, or in the next few decades, we might come up with new life-saving technology. The best way to increase longevity is to keep people healthy and in a good environment their entire lives, generation after generation after generation. Then life expectancy increases. So don't say local police. We want the local police involved. Please come to my property and help me deal with this problem. Well, now they're going to do something or pretend to do something.